What happens when your dad's book club writes the script for a hacker heist after binge watching Mission Impossible and Cheers?
You get a hacker heist where the only thing that's encrypted is the bar tab. And at the end of every mission, everyone yells, Norm!
Find out next on Trees in Space. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trees in Space, the show where we watch and review movies of all genres. We tell you what the fans thought, what the critics thought, and what we thought. Was it worthy of a forest, a small stump to sit on, or a small grove? This week, in case you missed the thumbnail, we watched the 1992 mystery thriller comedy Sneakers, starring Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, Mary McDonald, and Sir Ben Kingsley. I'm Jason, and that is Nate, and welcome back to our show. This was as a pick. It's yeah. I'm gonna stop talking. Well, how you doing?
Hi, everybody.
I was trying to continue to talk because you were laughing. I want to give you a chance to compose yourself.
Yeah, well, we started kind of quick. I wasn't expecting it, and it made me laugh. So, that made me laugh more than this movie, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
expected
that's a
more
sham
humor out
shame.
of it. It was interesting to see Dan Aykroyd in this kind of a character. I have not seen him like this. He's still kind of younger. He's probably about what I would be in age-wise now, in his what mid
Well, it's
late 30s.
92. I'm sure we could look it up and put it down there.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Um, but we're doing this in
Yeah.
honor of Robert Redford, who just passed away this last week. He was 89. He's one of the legends of acting. His acting chops are, beyond there. But let me tell everyone what this movie is about who don't know. Computer hackers Martin, which is Robert Redford, heads a group of specialists who test the security of various San Francisco companies. Martin is approached by two national security agents who ask him to steal a newly invented decoder. Martin and his team discover that the black box can crack any encryption code, posing a huge threat if it lands in the wrong hands. When Martin realizes the NSA men who approached him are rogue agents, they frame him for the murder of the device's inventor. The device's inventor. So that's what's going on. That's the whole Mission Impossible, the Ocean's 11 type thing, where they have to
Oh my God.
what?
You know, the whole time I watched this movie, I was like, where's Danny Ocean? Like,
Really?
yeah, I was like, come on, where's the it kept
No.
it it kept me it just couldn't go. Like no matter how hard it chugged up this hill, it just kept falling back. Like it wanted to climax. It wanted to get to that peak of excellence. It just it didn't get there. That's how I felt
See,
about this
guys, this
movie.
is a person that watches this movie that has a very short attention span,
But
which is Nate.
but you know what though? This movie was 2 hours and 5 minutes, but it played fast. It was a
Very,
very
very good point.
fast feeling 2 hours. Like I checked the time, I was like, oh my God, it's 45 minutes. Holy crap, I'm an
Mhm.
hour and a half in. Like I kept getting lost in the movie.
Yeah, it's and the thing is, and I was just kidding about the fact that he has a short attention span because he'll watch that Oak Island Curse movie for and that's very slow,
Oh my
methodical
God.
stuff with this that's very similar type, but you're waiting for the next thing to happen. I
Yeah.
can see your problem with the movie as far as um, it kind of switch. It takes a while to get to where it's going. It seems like it's like okay, so these are hackers. We know that from the beginning. I
Yeah.
love the beginning. I love where you get to know all the characters without any more like exposition, like direct
Well,
exposition.
in the very beginning, it's um, Martin and his buddy,
Crease,
who?
crease.
Crease, and they're moving money around and all that. And Martin wins or loses the coin trick and has to go out for pizza. And Crease goes,
Oh no, no, no. Crease is the black gentleman. I'm sorry. You mean the
"Oh,
very beginning of the movie? It's
very
like,
beginning, yeah,
ah, yes, I can't remember his name right now. Dang.
it's
Yes, but he
okay,
flips the coin. Yeah.
yeah." But he goes. I want pepperoni pizza shaken, not stirred.
You got it. You want some food?
Loser goes.
I never lose. Oh.
Pepperoni pizza, please. Shaken, not stirred.
Power to the people, Kaz.
Power to the people, Marty.
What the fuck is that?
It's
That
just
is
something.
so stupid.
Cosmo, his name's Cosmo. That is something stupid when you're with your friend. You say something stupid. Like I've said things stupid like
Oh
this.
my
You said
God.
things stupid like this.
If I was really drunk, I might say something
They
that
were
dumb.
drunk on power, and I think they did a
Oh,
really good job of getting younger version of Ben Kingsley, the gentleman that
yeah.
played the younger version of Ben Kingsley. I thought they did a really good job.
I also
But
found it really funny that we watched yet another movie where a Volkswagen doesn't start.
I didn't even notice that it was a Volkswagen that
It's a
didn't start.
Volkswagen van. And I was like, oh yeah, like how is Volkswagen still a company? Every movie that we've watched with a Volkswagen in it doesn't start.
To be fair, it was supposed to like 69 and it was a blizzard. I can't believe he was driving out to get pizza in the blizzard anyhow. And it's Cosmo's fault that he got arrested because he's the one who tricked the corn flip because he didn't want to go out into the snow.
Yeah.
So and then Martin went away and then Martin runs it. It's many, many years later. And like it says, the NSA guys say, hey, we need to get this black box. First, he says he doesn't say anything about it. They go, you need to leave. Because that's one of my favorite parts of this movie. There's many favorite parts of this movie. I love it when he goes, we're the NSA, we're for surveillance. And he goes, oh, so you're the guys we hear on the other end of my phone. He's like, no, that's the FBI. He said, oh, so you just, throw over, countries and set up friendly dictators. He goes, no, that's the CIA. And then he goes, we do this, we're the good guys. And he goes, that's such a relief, Dick, because his name is Dick. I love those kind of conversations. That's why I like these kind of movies. I love the script writing of this type of stuff.
It's a shame that I watched this movie so late in life because, again, as many of our movies, this is the first time I've watched this movie, and this is the first time I've ever seen a Robert Redford movie, I believe.
Hmm.
So the it stinks because I seen Ocean's 11, the George Clooney one, and
Hmm.
that to me is a really good heist movie. So watching this one, I I just everything like it was neat, but I was like, okay, well, obviously they're gonna get away. Like it was just kind of like obvious storyline.
Hmm.
Um, but it probably would have been fantastic in '92 because I don't know any other heist style movies that came out during that time period.
Besides the original Oceans from like the 60s.
Right, and didn't have
And
that
yeah,
have Frank Sinatra in it?
yes, yes, he's the main character. And they had
What?
I mean, they've had a few like Catch Me If You Can.
That's a good
That magic,
movie.
what's the one? The magic one where they,
Shazam.
um, no, with Martin Ruffalo, where, Now You See Me? Like
Sure. I don't know.
the one with the five magicians with Woody Harrelson and
Oh,
Now You See Me,
yeah,
right?
they're coming out with a second one now.
I
I
think
think
they
it's
already came out. It
90.
must be a third one. Yeah, because they've already come out with a second one.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, they've had those type, and that's how this feels to me, but not as flashy as those. It's not as quick.
when the guys were crawling around in the ceiling, right away, I'm like, that can't happen because I looked up. I have drop tile ceiling. That's what those office spaces have. There is no way that these ceilings are going to support my body weight, and I know sure as hell that it's not going to fit theirs. So I was like, well, that's not true. There's no way that's
Well,
happening. And
well,
then,
go ahead.
and then the guards storm this building, right?
This is the very
Completely.
end of the movie, by the way. It's the last 30 minutes of the movie. He's missing all the stuff from the beginning.
They storm this fucking building, and then they get him, and then dude blind drives a fucking van into the parking lot. Nobody is there. Where did they go? There's
I
no way everybody went home so fast.
I wondered that myself this time watching. I never thought about that before. I thought the reason that brought up to my attention is because he didn't need to drive the car blind because they get there and that's the very end of the movie. But the two that were left up on the mountain side they made it down to the van. So there's no reason that these three couldn't have made it up to the van. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
like,
And you
so
want to know why I left the CIA? Anger.
yeah,
What the?
he's
Really?
bad at. They call him Mr. Tibbs. Okay, that's Mr. Tibbs to you. Um, but there is a box, and that's why I like another thing. It's like when they're looking for the black box, they're looking for the
Yeah.
code, whatever. Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, his black box is between his lamp and his pencil." He goes, "I hate to tell you this, but you're blind." I thought that was funny. He goes, "Don't look, listen." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh wow!" When first I watched, it, I was like, "Oh, that's
I
where it is."
liked him. Like
Oh, the
I
blind
liked,
guy
yeah, and I also really liked when
reading the Playboy.
oh, but when he was break it like they're probing. They had Aykroyd probing, who
Hmm.
Aykroyd is this conspiracy theorist,
Yes.
which is kind of funny now that he's actually on History Channel with
Hmm.
The Unexplained with Dan Aykroyd, which is kind of freaking funny that, and he was in Ghostbusters. So apparently he's got a thing. Um, but they're probing, and all of a sudden he's like, "Whoa!" And this
Yeah.
device can break everything.
All the encryptions down, like the air traffic control, the U.S. reserves, and I mean that's a very scary thing if someone actually has that type of technology in their hand.
But
Um,
it
Go
only
ahead.
works on American language, which is a
Yes, which is
very
why the one
important
guy.
thing.
Mhm. Well, this is when you knew. Okay, you thought it was going into it. Okay, it was like, is it really a life and death thing? Did those guys were they going to shoot Robert Redford before he said, "Hey, your mother's on the phone"? Were they going to shoot him or to give him his check? Because I think they were just going to give him a check.
Oh, I think they're gonna shoot him.
Do you?
Yeah.
So, but he leaves, and before that, they're like, "What are you gonna do with your money?" And then everybody said what they're gonna do. And I love River Phoenix, who was the young kid. He's like, "I just want to have a open, good, honest relationship with a special woman." And Robert Redford goes, "You're not getting paid that much." And he said, "No, something like Liz,
Yeah.
you're definitely not getting paid that much." I was like,
You know, something I thought about, Robert Redford is your grandmother's George Clooney.
yes,
Like the whole time, I would have loved to see this movie. I mean, I guess I did with Ocean's 11, but it's George Clooney. Oh my God. Like the cadence, the charisma, the
the man can
charismatic.
act. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very good.
I mean, there's many parts that all the okay. The movie as a whole is one thing, but for me, it's always the different parts of this movie that make me like it. The movie as a whole is basic. It is. I will give that to you. But the little bits and pieces I love about, like when he has to figure out how to get into the door that has the code lock. He's like, yep,
The
yep,
nerdy,
yep, and he
the
just
nerdy guy.
kicks it in, and he just kicks in the door.
Yeah.
It's like the alarm don't go off, and then he's trying to explain to the girl he's a private eye and
Yep.
then try to tell him what to say to her, and it's all confusing. And then she calms down. He's like, just be there for him. Give him head when he wants. He's like, give him help when I was like, things like that made me just smile when I saw those kind of things. Because it's very cute and funny. And those it's not a funny like a Will Ferrell type movie. It just gives you a
Oh,
smile.
it's way funnier than a Will Ferrell movie.
Okay, well then Adam Sandler or someone else. But um,
It's intelligent
y-
humor.
there
Like
you go.
it's not low hanging fruit. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I thought it was kind of interesting when they were watching the scientist that had the code breaker, and this, the lady that you're talking about, comes in and she just wants to make love to him. He's like, "No, I just have to do my work." And it's like he's passing up, "No, my work."
And she said, like we did in Mexico City, he's watching us. I didn't know they did that in Mexico
Yeah.
City. It's like,
Well, I was
Cute little
watching, I
things
was
like
like,
that.
man, the sooner they bone, the sooner you can get back to work. Why does he just resist? Like, stop resisting. You're wasting time, bro.
Pretty much. But the deaf gentleman, he was like Whistler. He was the greatest
Blind.
because, yeah, the blind guys. What did it sound like when he was in the
Mm,
trunk of the car? What did it sound like? I have a problem with that because depending on how fast the car was going over the bridge would depend on how fast those divots were going to hit.
right.
But besides that, I mean, the fact that he's like, what does it sound like? And the geese was great.
Oh, I
You
love
know,
that. He's like, it sounded like a dinner party.
yep.
And he's like, oh, it's so cute. And like, you're going to give you the honorary blind man badge or
Yes.
whatever.
Very good, Bish. Remind me to make you an honorary blind person.
Great.
It was a really cool
mean-
team. And I thought it was really clever, and the fact that this blind dude was really, really clever in the
Yes.
technology that they had available to them um, back then. Though I questioned the computer in the 60s. I didn't think that computers were that small back then, but again, that's
I think the
ignorance to me.
screen was the screen. Maybe the computer itself wasn't, but
Maybe.
I will
And
say,
this movie broke my brain for the fact that there's a point where there will be people in my life that will no longer be alive during the period that I remember, like Led Zeppelin, right? All the members of Led Zeppelin are going to die, but their stuff exists. Like, that broke my brain really hard watching this movie for some weird reason.
and yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's why we both watch and we talk to each other. I keep wanting to say this point, but I keep going off this point about how dangerous it is if he's gonna, if people are gonna die or not until they killed the scientist, and until that one guy kills the foreign attaché and the driver. It's like, okay, they're killing people. These people's lives are actually in danger. And I thought they built up the suspense when he's on the phone with James Earl Jones, and they're going back and forth from the phone tap.
Yeah.
Like, he's lying. Get off. They're gonna get us. Get off. I thought they built up that pretty well, but I never felt like that. Like you said, they were never in any real danger.
Well, I also like the anticipation when Martin is with the Russian dude and he's like, in this car where you're considered a sovereign, whatever, like under my protection. So when the FBI dude comes out with the badge, he's like, "Do you want my protection?" Like, and he chooses to get out, and then dude gets shot. Like, again, that's another very suspenseful piece to this. Is like, well, does he go with the Russians and get that
Right.
protection, or does he like? It was pretty neat.
But I really love the part of the movie where, and I'm ruining it for people. It's 30 years old. Get over it. Where Cosmo, who's not dead, is the one who's running this, and he's talking to Robert Redford's character in the soundproof area for some reason, pretending like he has a boss. And the conversation they're having about society, money, numbers, and how it's very 2025 type movie, especially when it comes to spying on people and encryption stuff and everything about numbers. We throw gobs of money at things, but that doesn't matter. It's all about who has the information. I was there very end of the movie when he's on the rooftop.
Yeah.
But I like both those conversations. I thought there was no poor acting in any of this.
I've learned that I like Ben Kingsley. I've yet to see a movie that he's been in that I don't like. Don't not like. Yeah, I've liked every movie I've seen of him. He was even good in that old person movie with Judi Dench and Pierce Brosnan. Thursday Murder Club. I don't think we
Never
watched
seen
it,
it.
but I watched it. I'd gave it like 4 trees. I know we didn't watch it, and that's totally. But
And now we're not going to because he done told you what he gives the trees on it. So
we don't have
did you make
time to watch that movie.
did you write a list of things you want to discuss?
I did.
for
We
this
hit them
movie?
all.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the 5-star and 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
The first 5-star review comes from Alec C. In order to be a professional, you have to be pretty sneaky. As a gang of hackers used to use their skills to break into banks to test their security, only to get entangled in a real heist when a powerful code breaker device falls into the wrong hands, and the crew tries to steal it back. A quirky heist comedy that pushes its premise of computer espionage to hilarious highs. Yes,
Yeah.
that was a 5-star review. It doesn't. It just like it just talked about the movie.
Uh, this whole movie could have been averted if they just did their research on the client before taking the job, even though they knew who Martin really was. That's the only
Yeah,
reason why
Martin
they did it.
Bryce.
The first 1 star or less comes from Mario M. No real story, boring, would not recommend movie, depressing to say the least.
Well, it's not depressing. I
I
mean, I
don't
guess
know.
if you didn't like it, I
Not
mean,
Miracle on 34th Street.
hey, now you know what? I know what I'm doing for Christmas. Thank you. So- The next 5-star review comes from the most popular unknown. Love this movie on the day it was released. Yep, actually saw it in theaters in Palo Alto, and still love it to this day. This should be a must-see movie for anyone who thinks hacking is easy or that old timers had it easy in the good old days. Who the fuck is this guy?
Um, are you a hacker? Did you
I don't
hack
know.
this
And
comment?
who would think? How does it show that we had it good in the good old days? When I was 15, we called it the good old days was the 50s. How are the 80s, the 90s, the good old days?
I mean, I guess for limited firewall security in places, and if you were a good hacker, you knew what you were doing. And now it's a lot more complex and probably more difficult. The next 1 star or less comes from unknown. Horrible movie that only gets worse as it moves along. Robert Redford's performance was awful. Writing was terrible.
Of course, that was unknown because anybody would never put their name to that character. That's okay. Say it to my face. The last 5-star review comes from Unknown. This is a wonderful movie that I love. I saw it for the first time after it first came out in 1992. And when it was on Showtime the other day, I just had to watch it. High praise.
That's a real strong backing 5 star compliment if I ever
I'm
heard
telling
one.
you, they backed it up.
Fuck, heck yeah. The last 1 star comes from unknown. I didn't care for it. Not only was it slow and boring, it was terrible.
Well, if it's slow, boring, and terrible, I'd give it less than a star too. That's what you thought. Uh, he didn't say I didn't care for it. He just, I mean, that's worse than not caring for it. He despised it, I would think. Um, and the WTF comes from Christian Gareth. Christian Gareth is my name, and I reside here in Los Angeles. I work as a dispatcher and got dropped down from work in regards to COVID-19. But before the incident, I was able to save some funds, hoping to invest some today into some good business that can really bring out good incomes. 5 stars.
What? 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 Who? Where?
That might
Huh?
have been another person that was trying to do the um, business.
But
But
there's no way to contact you, Christian Gareth. This is awful. Like your 5 star review of a movie that's not 5 stars, um, is not even a stump.
so let's move on to see how Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie. Well, Rotten Tomatoes scored this movie at a high 80%. Audience, which is you at home, agreed to the number and gave it 80%.
This this doesn't make sense, Jason. Jason, this makes no sense. There's no reason this movie should be 80. on either of those.
I agree.
Folks, there's no reason. It's
I
it's
agree.
anyway.
Well, we'll get yeah. You heard me and Nate discuss it. You heard what the critics think and how Rotten Tomatoes has scored the movie. Now you get to hear what me and Nate thinks of this movie. I will recommend this movie to my surgeon. I think it's a fine enough movie to recommend it to the surgeon. It is a stellar cast. I named most of them at the beginning, but I didn't name River Phoenix. Sorry, or David Strathairn. I can't pronounce his name correctly. Uh, James Earl Jones. I thought it was very cute in spots. I thought it was very logical in spots and very brainy, if you will. I love the part where they do the Scrabble thing and they spell out C-Tech astronomy, saying it's too many secrets, which I thought was really cool because they pulled that back later on. I think it went from point A to point B to point C to point D very effectively. Didn't stay too long in one spot. Didn't wait there. It was a basic story for sure, but the parts of it are greater than the whole. That's the way I'm gonna say it. The parts of it was greater than the whole for me. I love this movie. Believe it or not, when I kept telling you there are 6 movies that are the best movies of all time, this was one of those movies that I was mentioning, which I did not want to have you watch because I knew you were going to shit on it. But as watching it with fresh eyes, I no longer can say it's one of the best movies of all time. It was a fast 2 hours, but I cannot give it the 5 stars, even though going into this movie, I was saying it's going to be 5 stars. But I am going to agree with Rotten Tomatoes and the audience and give it 4.
Now it's my turn.
I didn't think about the surgeon, but you know what? I'd recommend it to my surgeon. It's a fine movie. Um, it was a clever enough script. To me, it was an original enough script. Um, the idea of doing a heist movie where you actually have to do a physical heist along with a digital heist. The fact that you could only move 2.5 seconds at a time with the room being at 98.6 degrees, hoping that you yourself are 98.6 degrees, which they didn't check his temperature before going in, so they probably were wrong. Um, but it's still pretty clever for the time, the technology. I don't agree with you at home or Rotten Tomatoes or you, Jason. uh, I think this movie is average. It's two trees and a stump. I'm sorry, like it's fine. It was a fine movie. I'd recommend it. I'd watch it again, but
Well, you've heard it here. Nate gives it 2 trees, 1 stump. I give it a big 4 trees. One of the biggest gaps we've had in our great. And I think the
especially with
only
you on top.
yes, the only other big gap we had was Goon, which he gave 5. I think I gave 2.
If that, I think you gave it a stump. I think
So yeah,
I
usually.
think I hurt you.
But what do you think? Do you think it was a great movie? Do you think it was a crappy movie? Do you like the kind of movies that we're watching? Please let us know. Do all the things down there. You know what you're supposed to do, what we're going to ask you. Feed the algorithm monster. Because right now, if you don't, there's too many secrets, and we can't have that. So we'll see you next week on Trees in Space.
What?